New images from Disney's new live-action remake of Peter Pan are out, and some of the movie's classic characters look a little different. Some conservatives are hitting out at the creative changes, which include casting biracial actors in the roles of Peter Pan and Tinkerbell as woke diversity nonsense. Twitter End Wokeness account lamented that these changes, lamenting the changes, said Peter Pan is Indian, Tinkerbell is black, the Lost Boys are girls, Captain Hook still white. So I am seeing, usually when this happens, I go, okay, is anyone actually mad about this? But there's an article in this conservative, Outkick is a conservative sports site, and the headline is, Disney's new Peter Pan is so woke, the Lost Boys are now girls too. I don't know, it seems like getting mad for no reason. Yeah, I also wouldn't be able to tell if you showed me those pictures. Like, I just looked at the poster for the movie. The Peter Pan is, I get he's Indian. I wouldn't have been. If you told me that was a white kid, I would have said fine. If you told me that was a Latino kid, I would have said sure. I can't really tell. Yeah. Honestly, I can't even tell that the Tinkerbell girl is. Well,
yes, you can tell. Tinkerbell is a blonde white character.
Well, now
Zara
it's just a black character.
Is a black and Iranian character. I mean, like she's clearly not white. But
in some cases, she's portraying a pixie. Like, what race are pixies?
Correct. And so this is the issue. Like, it's the same with the Black Little Mermaid. It's the same every time we do this silly dance. Is there something integral to the story about the changes that they've made that somehow undermine the magic that we once fell in love with? And I would argue that some things that are magical about Peter Pan is that it's set in England, and there's this idea of like a kind of an upper class family with a nanny who lives in this cute townhouse and goes on adventures, and there's something kind of Tony and elite about it that is part of the fabric of the story and the charm. I don't know if they're still supposed to be British or coming from a British background.
I agree with you on the race part. I guess you could make an argument with the gender part. There is it's somewhat part of the story that the Lost Boys don't have familiarity with the concept of girls because they're all boys.
Yeah, they're kind of savages.
They remember their mothers,
living
but they
alone.
Don't. But it's
kind of Lord on the Flies style, and they love Wendy because she's like this kind of civilizing influence on them. Yeah, I can totally see that argument.
It might be interesting to see how they do it. Maybe they'll do a bad job. But it's funny to see, and again, I don't know how many people on the right are actually mad about this. I found one, but usually when people, like with the Little Mermaid casting, it's like everyone's so mad about this. There are articles about the pushback, and you look, and it's not. There isn't actually there's like a few Twitter accounts. So I don't want to overstate that maybe very few people are actually mad about this. But often I have criticized liberals for being mad about like characters being who have come from some racial group, and a white actor is portraying them, and that makes liberals mad. That happened with Scarlett Johansson taking on a role a few years ago.
Yes.
There was some of that when Tilda Swinton portrayed
there are
the
a lot of white
monk
actresses
character
who've played Asian characters in Hollywood.
And so usually it's liberals freaking out about that, and I've criticized them for that.
There was that movie about the blackjack or the gambling guy who was like a savant card counter from MIT that was based on a true story of an Asian American who went to MIT that was completely changed to be about a white character. There was the time when Angelina Jolie was playing a biracial black woman in a movie, and they just kind of gave her a little curly wig and a tan.
That's all fine with me.
Well, the objection to kind of blackface and yellowface, I think, is legitimate. I mean, if you're getting to a point where you are putting people in racial cosplay, you're kind of making an admission that the race of the character is somehow important to the story. For example, if it's a biography, like it was in the case of the Angelina Jolie movie.
Well, I don't know about that. But sometimes these are not clearly calibrated. Like some liberals were mad that Gal Gadot was going to play Cleopatra, but that was those are people of the same region.
So the arguments that liberals,
informed.
Well, the argument that the liberals make is that there's so few roles available to non-white people in Hollywood that when there are these opportunities where the roles are explicitly or implicitly non-white, that it feels like something's taken from you, like one of these few opportunities that exist are taken from you. The argument that's being made often when people of color are playing white roles is that it is, denigrating the role in some way.
Or the cultural appropriation. Remember the prom? That's my culture is not your prom dress.
Yeah, but
utter
that's a different
insanity.
issue, right? Like, that's a different issue than saying...
It feels related.
Like, I have a movie about, it was Cloud Atlas, that I think was the Scarlett Johansson issue.
No. Cloud Atlas did have an issue. I liked the movie Cloud Atlas. I love the book. People did not like the movie. Yes, they had characters playing... They were all over the place on that one. Yeah. They had cross-racial casting.
Emma...
I quite liked the movie.
Oh, the redheaded Emma from Easy A and Emma.
I know who you mean. She was not in.
No. She was in a movie where she played a half Asian woman in Hawaii. The movie is called Aloha.
Okay.
Why am I forgetting this woman's name?
I want to say Emma Roberts, but that's
no.
I know who you mean.
Yeah. Anyway, she got a lot of flack for that. Like, and it wasn't necessary. At least just write her character white. Like, at this point. There's a line in the script where she's like, oh, I'm a quarter Hawaiian and a quarter Chinese. And it's like, this doesn't have to be Emma. Just be Emma. And in fact,
but you can be a quarter and look not like that. That happens. What? That does happen.
And look like Emma last name that we don't know? Sorry, we have to figure out this woman's name. Emma from La La Land.
Yeah.
Emma Stone.
That's
sorry.
it.
Emma Stone. No, it's not plausible. I'm sorry. Emma Stone, it's just not plausible. But that's fine. You can just write it. And look, Emma Stone got some flack for that, but this recently came up at one of the award shows where someone made a joke about it, because I think it was a good Asian American moment at the most recent Oscars, because Everything Everywhere All at Once that set all kind of records for first nominees and first wins in a lot of categories. And I think in one of the scripts, there was a joke made, and Emma Stone shouts from the audience, "I'm sorry!" And everybody laughed. And like, people make mistakes, and no one's canceled, and it's fine.
In the Cloud Atlas case, Cloud Atlas, it has like 6 different stories taking place across time, including the distant past and the distant future. And they were trying to draw the recurrence of storylines and conflicts over time. So they used the same like 7 or 8 characters in each story, which in some cases necessitated swapping their races. So it wasn't just like, there was a reason they were doing that. It was like a reason for the story. And it wasn't like, oh, we just want to cast white actors to portray Asian and black people.
Yes, I think that is true. But I'm gonna, maybe we can pull this up in a second. There are other examples. This Angelina Jolie example was one of the worst.
The Scarlett Johansson one was from the Ghost in the Shell, yeah, which is a sci-fi thing, and people were furious, and it seemed dumb to me. But it always does.
But now we spend so much time talking about liberals being mad at this.
Yeah.
We're here having a conversation about Peter Pan.
Dumb.
So Peter Pan, you made this point, and I think it's a good one. Historically, there have been a lot of women cast as Peter and Peter Pan, partly because it's the role of a young boy, and you need adult actors to like play these roles on Broadway and such. And they often just get women who are more. Julie Andrews, Brian Williams' daughter, Allison Williams, played Peter Pan in a live version of this a few years back.
Yeah, that version was deranged.
Well, yeah. But like it's a classic role for women, actually. And there's also been a lot of criticism of the original Disney film because of certain racial stereotypes. There's that Native American song,
Tiger Lily.
The song is called "What Makes the Red Man Red." The lyrics aren't great.
Is it? It's not in the movie.
Oh yeah, it is.
In the cartoon movie, do they have that?
I could sing it, but I won't.
They cut it. It makes it to the final. I don't remember.
I mean, maybe the new version of Disney has cut it out from the thing, but
how dare they with this cancel culture?
But the version I grew up with had that in it and some complicated lyrics.
I was not a huge fan of the cartoon version. I loved Hook. I really liked that movie as a kid. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
My favorite version of the Peter Pan story is actually in the ABC show Once Upon a Time, which has it tells Disney stories, but it Disney set in the real world.
Yes.
And
I remember that.
Actually, a lot of it is not good, but the Peter Pan arc is very good. The kid playing Peter Pan is great, and he's evil. The whole thing is that he's an evil sorcerer trying to stay young and alive forever. And Hook is the good guy.
Good. That feels right.
And he's a creepy, sneaky little evil imp. And
that's your favorite?
That's my favorite version. I identify with him.
All right. Well, I actually, what's so funny, there's so much of this conversation about wokeness.
The actor's name is Robby, too. So.
Yeah. Well, even more delightful. Yeah, I mean, part of the conversation about wokeness is often that things have changed. Things have gotten worse. Things are getting woker. We're spoiling things now. But we were having this conversation about, the classic Cinderella from the 1990s with a Black Brandy playing the princess, Filipino prince, the prince's mother and father, Whoopi Goldberg, and that white actor whose name I can't remember.
Richard Garber,
yeah. And everybody just loved it.
Yeah.
The stepsisters were all different races.
Yep. The evil stepmother is a just commanding performance from Bernadette Peters, who
it's terrific.
We all love.
That's race-blind casting at its best. You get the sense that everybody in that movie was cast because they were the best person for that movie. And it's a terrific movie as a consequence. And I grew up in the 80s with a children's book, a Caldecott Award-winning children's book called Amazing Grace that was about a little black girl who was told that she couldn't play Peter Pan in her school play because she was a girl and because she was black, and she gets the role and she does a beautiful job. So if wokeness is a problem, it's been a problem for at least
who's Hook in this new Peter Pan? Oh, it's Jude Law? I didn't recognize him.
I didn't recognize him either.
Oh. I think Jude Law's great.
I think he's terrific. Even if he's still white.
All right, that was a fun one. We had some heavy stuff today, so we gotta hold it out. Just don't be mad about things if you can help being mad about things.
Yeah, try to enjoy things.
More Rising after this.